Now imagine if we were playing a game of dice. You had to roll a 7 to win. But I rigged the dice. So that 7 still came up occasionally. But you got 6s and 8s over and over and over and over. So you kept thinking, oh, these are hot dice. I'm so close to winning. If I just kept playing a little more, I'd get that 7. That's exactly what the casino does to people, and they do it totally legally. That's what unbalanced reels are all about. And so we try to explain, this is what the casino is doing to people. It's not just a game, it's a scam of sorts. On the left side, you see the randomization that happens by computer. But on the right side, you see that whereas the computer is randomized, what shows up on the reels is not. All those things next to number 12 show you that at a disproportionate frequency of the time, the reel will end right between the 2 sevens, which would be the best prize, causing people to think, oh, if I just keep playing. Rest assured, the psychology has been tested, and it's used, of course, to make about $90 billion a year for the casino industry. The only good thing about casinos is that they're bringing some attention to a problem that already existed. We point out the degree to which gambling problems exist in Allegheny County long before a casino ever shows up. Now, if this is really so bad, why is government saying it's so good? That's one of the problems I have. Well, it's legal. Well, it doesn't understand the dynamics here. It's good for 3 groups, not for any of the rest of us. It's good for the casino industry, the lobbyists, and the governments who want to make more money for their state coffers without having to say they raise taxes. So we go over how that unholy triangle works. Who deals with who? Now, of course, you'll say, well, these are good people. They care. They give a number for gambling addiction. And besides, the state has put aside so much money generously, which the Pitt School of Social Work said would be about 1,000th of the amount required to deal with gambling addiction. As Bill Kearny will state very eloquently, that's all at the back end after people have gotten into trouble. Can you imagine us dealing with drunk driving by saying, we're not going to teach you about alcohol at all, but if you ever have a DUI and kill 3 people, then come to us for treatment. That's basically what we're doing here. Here's the Meadows, this is where their billboard is. Where's their billboard? Right at Wheeling Island. You think they like each other? Well, if you look really close and get a magnifying glass, you can see that line at the bottom. It says it's supposed to be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem, please call 1-800 some number. Nobody can read that as you go by. If you tried to read it, you'd be squinting so hard you'd go off the highway. That's their corporate conscience. Anyway, none of this works, this whole unholy triangle. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that was there. Even if we're going to have a casino, we could do certain things to prevent it from causing all the carnage it's going to. They're very logical things that could be done. And why do you think they don't do it? Well, because government is even more addicted to the revenues than the addicts are to the slot machines. So, it's an unholy triangle. It's an unholy triangle, but it only works if there's a 4th part. And that's a lot of what I try to lead up to. This is a very unpredictable addiction. What I've heard over and over today, talking to people and so forth, people are not prepared for the fact that this is not an addiction you can spot. It's not one you can see coming. It's not one you can predict. We can't say in advance, these are the 3% who are going to get it. It only takes people for a ride if the gullible players are going to enter. So although Bill Kearny will point out that he thinks one of the best ways to prepare people for a casino is to actually walk them through it with no money in their pockets and have them look around at the people playing and see what they look like. And I think he has a very good point there. I have a simpler solution, and when I was traveling around taking my pictures, I was very surprised to find that if you just stand at the right angle, this solution can be seen on Wheeling Island. It can be seen at the Meadows, at least at the temporary casino. If they've gotten lower this picture, they may have designed their permanent casino a little differently. That's what I talk about. And I don't make any money off this. I'm not getting any funding. But I do it because I care about the people around me, and because I feel this is an issue that has gone woefully untouched. In our schools, you will hear about drug and alcohol addiction frequently, probably multiple times a year from K to 12. You will hear very seldom, if ever, about gambling addiction, and this is the fastest growing addiction in America. I hope that by the end of this evening, you will not just have your mouth sitting agape, but you'll be motivated and inspired to do your part. If we cannot keep the casinos out of Pennsylvania, and it looks as if this one will be opening very soon, we can still encourage Pennsylvanians to be rational about whether it's a good thing to be in the casinos. Now, as I said, I'm not the best of the speakers tonight. Bill Kearny is a very inspiring person. Larry, you may cue up the audio, the video now. Bill Kearny is a very inspiring person. He has given himself tirelessly to no personal gain just because he feels a calling to this and to care about other people, to keep them from falling where he did, to this activity. I've heard him for hours. I've heard him over and over today. You can tell he is dedicated and willing to put up with having to hear himself say the same lines over and over. He did it today in about 10 separate meetings and media interviews. If you feel that you don't really know, if you're already feeling, gosh, there's a lot about casinos that I didn't realize, well, don't worry. We have some video to remind us that even people at the highest levels of government aren't really attentive to some of these things. Bill Kearny has over and over done call-ins. We have one we're going to play, and then he can tell you about some others if he wants.
Bill from Philadelphia, you're on the air.
My question is for the governor. Governor, when the casino and racinos open, they will be issuing they will be using the total reward card system. This system tracks the amount of money and time patrons spend gambling. This determines the value of the comps patrons receive. Today there is a bill, House Bill 1245, sponsored by State Representative Paul Kleiner, that will make the casinos and racinos who are already gathering this information to issue their patrons monthly statements. Sending monthly statements would not bar anyone from gambling, and would enable gamblers and their family members to spot a wealthy gambling problem before it gets out of hand. So my question is, Mr. Governor, will you support House Bill 24 at 1245?
Yeah, the answer is I'd be happy to sign that if it gets to my desk. But I also think that's something that the Gaming Commission can do in its own regulations. The people who would like to see that happen should also bring it to the attention of the Gaming Commission. Let me say about the Gaming Commission, they turned out to be terrific. They're working together extraordinarily well.
We would play a second video if we could. Bill Kearny managed to get on another call-in program where the governor asked a similar question, and the governor said, that's the first time I've heard of that proposal. So, it's hard to keep up with a lot. I'm going to try to keep everybody on schedule. Bill Kearny is a fast and determined talker. Be ready for a roller coaster ride. Take it away, Bill.
Can you hear me? Good. Well, first I'd like to thank Bruce for inviting me to this function and also to your beautiful city. And I'm going to try to be, I got a lot to say, so I'm going to start right away. Okay, and I just again want to thank Bruce. My name is Bill Kearny. I am an ex-casino gambling degenerate. Now you may see things written about me. I'm a reformed gambler, I'm a gaming activist. No, I'm a casino gambling degenerate. And the reason I put that casino emphasis on that is because I didn't gamble anywhere but the casino. Even though I grew up in Philadelphia, just like in Pittsburgh, had gambling all around me, from the racetrack, the bookmakers, the poker games at people's homes. I never got into it. The only gambling I ever did was in my business. And I took a small business and made it into a very large corporation. Made a ton of money. But what happened to me, I got sidetracked at an early age of 32 because I went to the casinos of Atlantic City. Now, when you live in Philadelphia, I'm sure most of you know Philadelphia, Atlantic City is one of our resort destinations. It's where you go on vacation. It's Atlantic City, Wildwood, Ocean City. Atlantic City got casino gambling in 1978. It was when the first casino opened up, Resorts International. Now, even though resorts opened, Caesars opened within 2 years later, by the year 1984, there was 8 to 10 casinos up and running. Now, I still had a place down the shore. I still went into the casinos, went to the shows, but I never gambled.